I told some members of our community, I think another delegate from Virginia Beach, Delegate Davis, and I were at a function, and I told that community that there were 10 things in this budget that I absolutely hated, and there were 10 things in that budget that I absolutely loved. And I thought that was a good byproduct of a negotiation that was done in good faith. And so I voted for the budget, and many of us did, and supported that budget. And I recall before we left, one of the last people to speak was my good friend, Delegate Rasul from Roanoke. He said, this is a good budget. We don't love it, but there's a lot in it. And please tell the governor to keep his hands off of it. As we know, he could not resist because he just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand the process, and he doesn't get it. Now, when I joined the courts of justice, Delegate, my good friend from Albemarle County, Mr. Speaker, schooled me to explain to me and reminded me again today of all of the great members of our history in Virginia who had served a chair of courts and on courts. I think he mentioned John Marshall and Patrick Henry, James Madison, and even our own history maker, Delegate Charnel Herring, as the first African-American to chair the courts of justice. And I remember Delegate Bell, who schooled me many nights on courts in Crim Sub, talking about how important it is to get the words right. No matter where we finish, we get the words right. We take our time and get it done. And now I'm shocked to see that the governor, who doesn't get it, is putting into the criminal code, the sacred code that Delegate Bell, or the delegate from Albemarle, talked to me often about, how we get the words right. And I've been told that I'm inexperienced, Mr. Speaker. I've only been here for a second term or so. But I got more experience than the governor, who's only been in government for a hot minute. And now he is literally putting into this sacred criminal code, taking people's liberty away. And you guys are about to vote for it because he's bullying you even after the delegate from Virginia Beach negotiated this budget with no new crimes in the budget. I think he put in something about marijuana, and maybe that's why we opened that door. And now the governor feels comfortable adding in more criminal code through the budget process. Now, we know that he doesn't have an effective plan, a compassionate plan to govern the Commonwealth, but he does have a scheme. I just want to do a quick public service announcement while he's in the middle of running for president. Virginians expect fairness. Virginians expect compassion. Virginians expect the governor to understand second chances. Heck, a Republican governor gave me a second chance. But now the same people now want to take those chances away from people who have worked and earned the right for second chances. Rolling back our progress on mass incarceration, rolling back our process on restricting reproductive freedom. Roe v. Wade has been enshrined in our Constitution since 1973. We know that if given the chance, the governor, he's even said it. He said, hell on, while I'm running for election, I can't talk about abortion. Get me elected first, and then I will do some things. And he's already proven that. He sent down a budget amendment to make the poorest, what bullies do, to make the poorest women who need access to abortion pay out of their own pockets for non-viable pregnancies. Pregnancies that could literally kill them. That is what this governor is doing. But he won't even think about introducing a bill to restrict AR-15s to protect our children in classroom. I'm surprised that he didn't put in a budget amendment to require children to wear body armor to class. If you want our children to feel safe in their schools, I mean actually safe, you have to do something about gun violence and guns. I know he's focused on curriculum and CRT and divisive concepts, but that's not what those children in Uvalde died from. There were bullets in their bodies that decimated their faces. And yet, we know that the NRA was the first biggest sponsor for the Republicans at their most recent retreat, because we know who you answer to. I'm asking you to answer to the Commonwealth of Virginia, to the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia. This budget takes money out of the Housing Trust Fund, these budget amendments. These budget amendments prevent people who have worked hard, who may be undocumented, who have lived here all of their lives, gone through school, did everything correct, graduated high school, got into college. This budget takes that money away. So much for workforce development and the investment in that. So much for making sure that everybody gets a fair chance in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And finally, if you believe that every Virginian should be able to make their own decisions about their own bodies, then you should pay close attention to how each member votes today in regard to this budget amendment. I know we may disagree on this policy, and I was lectured several times about policy from members of the other side. And we said that we go through the committee process, and we vet it, and we have witnesses and experts come speak. But that's not what we're doing today. Today, the governor, through a budget amendment, is restricting women and families' choices. It's not a coincidence that governor doesn't get it. It's not a coincidence that all of his policies are about how do we control people. The same people that talk about freedom want to control people's decisions. If you're ready to get to work, getting Virginian families back together, getting us healthy, getting us working, I want to collaborate with the governor. We want to collaborate. But if it's all about restricting people's freedoms, locking people up and throwing away the key, controlling women and families' decisions regarding their own health care decisions, then I have a duty. I must fight, and we will fight. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.